Wake up, Nigeria. We are coming to you live right now from TVC Studios here in Lagos.
We're also live on tvcontinental.tv and, of course, on Facebook. You can look us up on TVC Connect. For comments, make sure you use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria.
All right, so you know what? President Muhammadu Buhari returned home on Saturday, the 19th of August, after being away for more than 100 days in the United Kingdom on medical leave.
We are so glad he's back.
Welcome home, Mr. President.
And he is set to address the nation in just a few minutes. And of course, we'll be bringing that to you live.
Of course. Yeah, so someone looks like they had a good weekend.
Well,
with the president being back and everything.
Yeah.
Were you at the airport to receive him? All right, so we're going straight to the president, who's going to be coming up live very soon in a few minutes. And we're going to be coming to you live.
My dear students, I am very grateful to God and to all Nigerians for their prayers. I am pleased to be back on home soil among my brothers and sisters. In the course of my stay in the United Kingdom, I have been kept in daily touch with events at home. Nigerians are robust and lively in discussing their affairs. But I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far. In 2003, after I joined partisan politics, the late Chief Emeka Ojukwu came and stayed as my guest in my hometown, Daura. Over 2 days we discussed in great depth till late into the night and analyzed the problems of Nigeria. We both came to the conclusion that the country must remain one and united. Nigerians' unity is settled and not negotiable. We shall not allow irresponsible elements to start trouble, and when things get bad, they run away and settle others with the responsibility of bringing back order, if necessary, with their blood. Every Nigerian has the right to live and pursue his business anywhere in Nigeria without let or hindrance. I believe the very vast majority of Nigerians share this view. This is not to deny that there are legitimate concerns. Every group has a grievance, but the beauty and attraction of a federation is that it allows different groups to air their grievances and work out a mode of coexistence. The National Assembly and the National Council of States are the legitimate and appropriate bodies for national discourse. The national consensus is that it is better to live together than to live apart. Furthermore, I am charging the security agencies not to let the successes achieved in the last 18 months be a sign to relax. Terrorists and criminals must be fought and destroyed relentlessly so that the majority of us can live in peace and safety. Therefore, we are going to re-emphasize.
All right, we are here, and the president's speech is still going on live, and of course we are hearing what the president is saying.
Yes.
Already. And we'll take
targets, kidnappings, farmers versus herdsmen clashes, in addition to ethnic violence fueled by political mischief makers. We shall tackle them all. Finally, dear Nigerians, our collective interest now is to eschew petty differences and come together to face common challenges of economic security, political evolution and integration, as well as lasting peace among all Nigerians. I remain resolutely committed to ensuring that these goals are achieved and maintained. I am so glad to be home. Thank you, and God bless our dear nation.
All right, so the president has finally addressed the nation, and of course we have heard some of the things that he had to say regarding what's been going on in the past few months that he's been away. And joining us this morning to do some analysis on this speech is the managing director of Upshot Media, Mr. Mojeed Jamiu. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. And good
Thank you for
morning,
joining us this morning. Now, there's a number of things that the president said this morning regarding the nation, and it looks like he focused a little bit on the security issues going on and some of the agitations that's been going on, especially in the southeast. Why do you think that he focused essentially on those two things that have to do with national security?
Yeah, you know, there has been this insinuation that while the president was away, the country was being divided by all these hate speech and calls for secession from Arewa youths, IPOB, and what have you. The president's message this morning, basically after thanking Nigerians for holding forth while he was away, very clear. It drew us back to when Ojukwu visited him in Daura and stayed in his house. I mean, he was trying to focus on unity, that whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo, that we are one. And he's trying to preach unity. And he's sending very clear signals that the Buhari that left Nigeria 103 days ago might not be the same Buhari you are seeing now. I think it's going to be more emphatic about the unity of this country. I think he's sending a message that he is not going to compromise the unity of the country. He's also sending a message to kidnappers and terrorists that, I mean, it's going to be a serious war. Basically, he's talking to it's also talking to politicians that they should not encourage those who are calling for disunity in the country. I think basically that's the message he's passing across this morning. Message of unity, and that we have to coexist as one nation.
What do you think is the significance, though, of the fact that Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu actually visited him in Daura and spent a few days with him? Because that, why do you think he started with that? Because there seems to be some significance to him beginning with that part, that
yes,
visit.
Basically, the call by the leader of IPOB and Master Kanu has been calling for the independent state of Biafra. I think in response to that, you know, the Arewa youths led by Shetima also gave a quick notice to all Southeasterners living in the northern part of the country. So, I mean, there has been this back and forth, and there was a time we had that that threat by Arewa youths have been withdrawn. So, basically, the president went to history to recall, I mean, very emphatic that Ojukwu, as an Easterner, came visiting in Daura and stayed in his house. So that the Igbos, the Southeasterners, are safe in northern Nigeria. That's the message he is trying to pass across to these youths, because apparently most of these people calling for disunity in Nigeria never witnessed the civil war. So he's trying to also tell them that himself and Ojukwu fought in the civil war, and before or after the civil war, they were still together, even despite the civil war. So I think that's the message he's trying to pass across, that it doesn't pay any nation to go through a civil war twice. So that's why it's very key. That 5-minute speech focused basically on unity and the need for us to coexist.
Wow, because I mean, these are some of the things that has been going on in the past few months in the country, and now going into his first address to the nation, it's about these things, so that everybody, no one is in doubt. But one of the things that he said.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the fact that he mentioned being distressed about the comments going out on you know, the social media space, which of course it must have been distressing for him being outside the country and seeing all these things happening. But I do believe this is one of the first times I'm hearing, you know, a president talk about the social media space as being significant enough to send messages. But then later on he mentions a national consensus talking about unity. Well, I'm not sure if that balances out enough, because the responses we get on social media, if you go to certain hashtags, I won't mention which, is that there is not really much of an agreement. What would you say to that?
Well, yeah, the social media, as good as it is, I mean, it's also causing a lot of damage, especially to the youth. And I think I can draw a conclusion with the fact that joblessness and unemployment has driven a lot of people to social media, and it comes cheap these days. With as little as 200 naira, you can go on the net, even with a 3,000 naira phone. So they say the devil finds a good workshop for for a lazy or an idle hand. So you see that people forget that each time you go on Facebook or on Twitter, I mean, as you are doing your hate speech, you are actually equipping Mark Zuckerberg and the owners of Twitter. You are giving them money at the expense of the little money you are even supposed to earn for yourself. So that's basically the message the president was trying to pass across. That, I mean, most of the things we read on social media, like there was a message on social media yesterday saying that this speech has been postponed from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and that there is a public holiday today. I mean, and people start pushing it around. So a lot of falsehood on the social media space. So, and I think that's the message the president was trying to pass. And if you recall, when Lai Mohammed led the media team to visit the president, he actually alluded to the fact that Honorable Minister, I've been looking at you, I see the battle you are fighting in the media space. I mean, he was joking about it. So it means even while he was away, he's been following all those trends. So that's why he was sending that message to Nigerians that, no, I think we should believe less in what we read in the social media space.
Okay, we have to say a big thank you to you for making your way to the studio this morning.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate that. But we still have so much more coming up on Wake Up Nigeria. And well, hey, maybe if you're a stay-at-home wife, even a working mom, you need something to do on the side. Habiba Balogun is just the right person to show you how to do it right. She'll be talking about that on the show today. And of course, it's never too late to start something new.
Of course, she's going to be your Monday motivation today. And if you are very particular about beauty products and really like that stuff, you'll be seeing a little something about organic skincare later on.
We'll be bringing you some really interesting stories of victory, especially from a woman who had quadruplets.
Wow. It does appear that there will be something for everyone on the show today. And we told you it was going to be special.
I'm sure you're all eager to see. Okay, I did say just a second ago that we have an update, but there's so much more in store on Wake Up Nigeria. You need to stay really, really close.
Of course, we're going to be going straight to the news update and the weather, and we'll be looking at the covers of the newspapers this morning as well.
And this is the news update. More than 10 persons have lost their lives after the boat they were traveling in capsized in Ilashe, Lagos. 4 victims of the mishap who were rescued are receiving treatment in hospital. Managing Director of the Lagos State Waterways Authority, Abisola Kamson, blamed the incident on overloading of passengers on a banana boat. Kamson also said the boat took off from an illegal jetty. Lagos is made up of a number of islands and is surrounded by waters on its southern border. The state has been in a court battle with federal authorities to control its waterways. 2 persons have been confirmed dead while 3 others sustained injuries in an explosion along Damaturu Road in Yobe State on Sunday. The injured were rushed to the Damaturu Specialist Hospital by security forces on patrol along the road. Explosive devices are believed to have been planted along the road by Boko Haram terrorist group. TVC News learned that the commuters took off from Damaturu to Biu, located some 121 kilometers away from the Yobe State capital, when they encountered the terrorists halfway into the journey. Benue State Police say the motive in the killing of Governor Samuel Otom's aid on economy and investment is yet to be established. Taveshima Adioro was shot early this morning at his residence in Makurdi, the state capital. His wife was also shot during the attack, but she is being treated at a hospital. Benue Police Commissioner Bashir Makama confirmed that an investigation has commenced into the incident and Adioro's phones are being analyzed for relevant information. This is the 4th assassination case involving an elder statesman and top government officials in Benue State since Otom became governor in 2015. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, says the country can accomplish excellent things with the return of President Muhammadu Buhari. Tinubu said Buhari's discipline, strength and dedication helped him battle his medical challenges. The former Lagos governor says Nigeria had grown to the point where governance continued in a meaningful, seamless manner while the president was away. He said the country could overcome its many challenges with Buhari at the helm of affairs. And that's a wrap on News Update. We'll bring you today's weather as it promises to be now.
Hey
All right, so we're back, and Super Mike is here for sports.
Okay.
This morning.
All right, I have to turn it up. That was news that this is sports, all right?
Yeah.
So let's turn it up. All right, Florence Omagbemi, who led Nigeria's Super Falcons to an 8th Women's African title last year, says she's shocked and surprised at not making the shortlist for the role of coach. Omagbemi's contract expired at the end of their triumphant 2016 Women's African Cup of Nations campaign in Cameroon. Now, despite being one of the 10 names on FIFA's list for Women's Coach of the Year, Omagbemi's name does not appear on any shortlist published by the Nigerian Football Federation for various positions in the national teams. The former international, who played in 4 FIFA Women's World Cups, went several months without pay during a stint with the Falcons in 2016. And on a very, very pleasant note, Nigeria have booked their place in next year's African Nations Championships, CHAN, after beating Benin Republic 2-0 in Kano to qualify on a 2-1 goal aggregate. Rabiu Ali put the CHAN Eagles ahead in the 22nd minute before Kingsley Eduo doubled the lead for the Nigerians 2 minutes after the restart.
Went in off that pass from Wazam and buried the ball. Pass goalkeeper Steve Gajinon for the first goal for the Eagles here today.
Well, I think the crucial touch there had to come from Stephen O'Day. That turn was absolutely Ali. That's actually goal for Nigeria. That was out of the blue. Like the Super Eagles are heading to Kenya. That was a superb header into the bottom corner, and nothing Glodginon could do there.
Well, this kind of vindicates the selection.
It's the battle. He does the eye job. A shot run up, it will be.
However, goalkeeper Ikechukwu Ezenwa ended up as the hero of the day for Nigeria when he saved a spot kick awarded to Benin following a handball in the box by Emmanuel Arewachukwu. CHAN Eagles held on to their lead to secure their spot for the African Nations Championships, which will be hosted by Kenya. Then, of course, on to Premiership news. Manchester United underlined their Premier League title credentials with a ruthless 4-0 victory at Swansea. United looked to be labouring to a 1-0 victory after the first league goal of Eric Bailly's career on the stroke of half-time. After thrashing West Ham on the opening weekend, it had appeared this will be a sterner examination for United against an organised Swansea side. But 3 goals in 4 minutes by Romelu Lukaku, Paul Pogba and Anthony Martial saw Jose Mourinho's men maintain their 100% start to the season with a second successive 4-0 win. It was Swansea's first defeat at the Liberty Stadium since the 5th of April. And elsewhere, Sadio Mane and Liverpool their first Premier League win of the season as Crystal Palace suffered a second straight defeat. 10-man West Ham twice came from behind, but Charlie Austin's injury time penalty gave Southampton a 3-2 victory. And West Brom also made it 2 wins from 2 with a 1-0 victory at Burnley. Leicester defeated Brighton 2-0 in a scrappy affair at the King Power Stadium, and former Real Madrid winger Jesse Rodriguez scored the winner on his debut as Stoke City stunned Arsenal 1-0. And then, of course, on Sunday, the big one, Tottenham and Chelsea battle for bragging rights in a crucial London derby. And yeah, Gary Cahill, of course, was not there, and also midfielder Cesc Fabregas, who was also on a suspension, having been red-carded against Burnley. But then the big thing happens that, of course, Chelsea defeated Tottenham in that game 2-1. Quite a very, very big one. Newcastle, of course, went up against Huddersfield. Huddersfield, of course, 2 straight wins, now on 6 points. And Newcastle, of course, have to rue their losses after losing 2 straight matches just at the beginning of the season. And then on to the Spanish League. Atletico Madrid are prepared to offer up to £50 million to Chelsea for Diego Costa in a bid to break the stalemate over the want-away striker. Costa has been training alone in his hometown of Lagarto, Brazil, and insists he has no intention of returning to London unless he gets his wish to join Atletico. Atletico are understood to be willing to offer £41 million with the further £9 million in add-ons, which will represent profit on the £32 million Chelsea paid for Costa, but this is still short of their £60 million valuation. And Antonio Conte has been given the green light to sign Inter Milan midfielder Antonio Candreva. Inter are ready to sell for £25 million, with the striker Italy star keen to switch to Chelsea to team up with Conte. The Premier League champions also want Leicester's Danny Drinkwater, Southampton's Virgil van Dijk, and Arsenal's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and also Juventus wing-back Alex Sandro. Manchester United will also allow David De Gea to join Real Madrid next summer if they can secure a deal to sign Gianluigi Donnarumma from AC Milan. The Spain #1 is desperate to return to his homeland but has a contract until 2019 and will not force a move. Milan have spent big as they look to make a return to the glory days and are under pressure to perform. And Ed Woodward, a chief of Manchester United, has met up with the Ivan Perisic agent this week to trash out a last-minute deal for the Inter Milan forward. The Old Trafford executive wants to land the winger, who is supposedly the final part of Jose Mourinho's squad puzzle, and face-to-face talks with his reps are ongoing. United have bid £39 million for the Croatian winger, but the San Siro outfit have not budged. And the West Ham United are growing frustrated in their attempts to sign William Carvalho from Sporting Lisbon, as both clubs remain at £5.5 million apart in their valuation for the midfielder. Carvalho is regarded as the final piece in the jigsaw by West Ham manager Slaven Bilic, with the club having already bought in Marko Arnautovic, as well as Javier Hernandez, Joe Hart and Pablo Zabaleta. And of course, on transfer rumors, that is where we bring Sports Update to a wrap.
Thanks so much, Mike.
So it was a big one for Chelsea.
Yes, it was.
Very big one.
It was huge.
It was the first point of the season after losing at home. And of course, against their rivals who were second place. It's going to be a long season for Tottenham.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike, for that.
We have to go on a break now, a commercial break, but we will be right back with the newspaper headlines.